Hi. Um, Blameless culture is an important attribute for creating a high performance team. A blameless culture moves the question from who did this to how did the system allow this to happen, which means, irrespective of the person who did it, if a person A has done it on that particular day, in a blameless culture, what it means is even if a person B, person C, person D of a similar qualification, of a similar caliber, has been doing that task, that problem would have still happened. If a developer has missed a code and that has gone into production and a particular error has happened, in a blameless culture, what it means is any developer in that position would have done it, which means either the approval process is not working, or the documentation is not clear, or it could be the review process has not been working, or anything. So there should be a system that's allowing this to happen rather than the person. So the whole thought process of when we say that if a production problem has happened, who is the person who has did the problem rather than what is the system that allowed this problem to happen. So the systemic failure, the thought process of moving it from a people perspective to a process perspective, cultivates a blameless culture. So by treating mistakes as, so once that deviation happens from a people to process, then there is a lot of freeness that the team gets. Then there is an opportunity where people start looking at what can be made better in the system. So everybody has an opportunity to learn from the mistakes, and that creates a better environment. So once it becomes a systemic change, once the personality, when the person is removed from the problem, there is a big level of psychological safety the team starts feeling. Once that happens, everybody will be able to, even if there is a mistake, it will be known to the team that they are not going to be pinpointed. Everybody will be wanting to find what has failed in the system, so they'll be safe to admit the mistakes. So this creates a lot of security for the team. The team is comfortable to do a root cause analysis. Team starts really looking around what are the various aspects that could have been missed here. So the openness, it creates a total environment of openness for a discussion rather than when you go into a root cause analysis, it is like people start thinking that am I going to be torn apart, and am I going to be, is my job safe here, will I be retained in the team? Instead of that, it's going to be a proactive positive discussion looking at various aspects. So when a typical RCA happens, when the incident has occurred, when you look at the logs and metrics, the total thought process on how this happened looks at, okay, the code came in, the requirement document came in, so the requirement document was reviewed, there was a discussion that happened on the requirement document, then it was put it on the scrum board, so the jira was accepted, the estimation was given, everybody reviewed the estimation, so all the process is being reviewed rather than saying, okay, this person took the requirement, this person gave the estimation, this person did it, this person did it. Instead of that, right, it totally, the thought process is on the total system, then an action item is created from there. The focus is on how and what and not who, right? When the blame focus question asks who pushed the bad code, instead of what was the automation test that was missing to catch the bad code, why weren't you careful, rather than what was the details in the documentation that was missing, who approved this Deployment. Yeah, that's a good question to ask. Who approved this deployment? But what was the process gap that enabled this approval? So, uh, separating the person from the problem, right? The rejecting the bad apple myth. The culture rejects the notion that removing a bad employee from there. So, removing a person who caused the problem, assumed to be causing the problem, removing the person A removes the problem. No. If there is an underlying systemic issue there, if you do not have an open mind, even if you put any person there, the problem still remains. So, that is why shifting the problem on the person is not a good way rather than having a blameless culture, right? So without fear of blame, information flows freely throughout the organization, creating powerful learning opportunities. Radical candor, teams openly discuss near misses alongside successes, so whatever has been missed will be talked about. What are the steps to create a blameless culture? Overall, we can say there are three steps to create a blameless culture. First is to educate the team on what are those attributes of a blameless culture, make the team members understand what are their behaviors that they need to instill on them. Take take typical examples that is applicable to the team. So educate the team on the blameless culture. Second is monitor and address the skill gaps. It is possible that certain team members would not have the required skills. And if it is a known issue, then it is important to target the provided support for the team members so that the technical skills are provided for the team and the skill gaps are addressed. And the third important point is the managers needs to be aligned with the team, which means that the process of regular one-on-ones, making sure they understand what is the stakeholder expectation, making sure what is the team understand what is the team goal and their individual goals. This creates an environment of trust so that the team and the managers are aligned. Once these basic areas have been covered, then it becomes possible to create a blameless culture. What is the impact of a blameless culture? From a blaming team, it becomes a learning organization. From a learning organization, it becomes an environment where innovation starts thriving. So innovation is a thriving ground once a blameless culture is instilled within the team. Because of the psychological safety that the team starts feeling, the retention becomes higher. So these are the direct business impact of a blameless culture. Thank you.